but he competed a while back.
Dude, I know this guy from way back in the day. I recognize him.
Yeah, yeah,
He lives in South Florida, right?
yeah, he lives in Fort Lauderdale, but he was with Zero Gravity for a bit.
That's what it is. Yep.
But yeah, no, we'll have to get him on the pod. But that's I linked up with him because he had used the same surgeon, so we were talking about it.
When's your surgery?
13th.
Nice.
Yeah.
12 days and counting.
Yeah. So
Are you gonna
gonna
get like 2 inches taller?
they didn't give me an exact like number. They just said he said probably at least an inch. So it could be an inch, it could be an inch and a half, who
Well,
knows?
you better update that hinge profile, dude. Put six
Dude,
foot tall now.
I can't wait to go from 5'8" to like 5'9" or
6 foot, dude. Just fuck
six.
them.
Relax. It's
Or
funny
get
because
those run shoes.
everyone I talk to about the surgery is like, damn, like I need to get this back surgery. I'm like, all right, I don't think you necessarily
Yeah,
want to, but um,
yeah. I'll pass.
what's going on, Chris? How you been?
Today I'm feeling it because I had like 20 shots of tequila.
Oh
And
shit.
then, dude, I get out of the Uber, go inside, check my pockets, and my phone wasn't in my pockets. And the guy at Uber already took off. And I checked my location, like whenever I woke up this morning, because I was like, oh, I'll get the phone from him. Like, he probably lives in the same town as me. Dude, he was an hour and a half away. Yeah, so I had to drive all the way there this morning to go get my phone out of the back seat of his car. And then to cap it off, Uber charged me $20 as a lost item found fee because they're like, oh, you or the guy had to come to you to bring the phone. I'm like, bitch, I fucking drove an hour and a half to go get the phone from him and you charged me $20? Like, the hell? So yeah, I got really fucked this morning.
Did you call him on that? How does that work? That sounds
So
crazy.
I have to call like customer service because like their little AI thing won't allow me to get my money back. They're like, oh, this needs to be done by customer service. Yeah, I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm probably won't even call at this point for $20, but dude, it was just not a fun morning. Let's just put it that way.
Bro, what's
Okay,
the point of AI with a lot of these services, man? Like I know I had the same issue with PayPal on the charge or whatever, and then I'm talking to AI and they're like, "Hey, you might need to talk to a rep." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I want to
Right?
do. Send me to a rep."
It makes no sense at all.
at
I
least you got
mean,
your
I feel
at
like
least you got
all
your
this
phone
customer
back.
service it's gonna go downhill from it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
At least you
Yeah.
got it back.
Yeah,
That
yeah. So, but I'm not working out today. This will be my 1 day off for the week, which is pretty pathetic because you should begin a good start to the new year. But you know what? I'm not doing it today. The tequila's flowing through my veins still, so we'll give it another day.
So are you? When are you gonna come back? We've been going back and
Coming
forth on
back
this.
after the first. So tomorrow, January 2nd, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get to like 240 again. And then, yeah,
Everyone else's New Year's starts today, but yours actually starts tomorrow, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
it's on delay timing. I give them a head start.
He's fashionably late.
you guys gotta catch up.
What's your weight
No,
right
no,
now?
but really, I'm gonna basically, I haven't really decided the plan yet of what I want to do. I think for muscle memory and everything, I'm gonna get everything back very, very quickly. So I'm kind of banking on that. I might want to do the St. Pete show, the St. Pete Pro one, and then we'll see after that. I may wait. I mean, depending on how much I grow in the next 4 months or 3 months, I guess you would say, I might push it off to the end of the year next year. Hopefully I don't have anything that happened like last year.
Well, like
So
2027?
no, well, I'm saying at the end of 2026.
Oh, and then this year.
Yeah, because I mean, as you know, this last year at the beginning of the year, I had my hair transplant done. So that took me out of the gym for a little
Oh, I didn't
while.
know that actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got
I
that
knew
done
about
in
your nerve
March.
issues. I didn't know about your hair.
So that was at the end. So I had the hair transplant first, took off some time, and then I knew I was going to have that hernia surgery. So that was around like junior nationals time. So I kind of took off working out because I'm like, dude, there's no point in me gaining or anything because I'm going to go under the knife. So I was like, all right, take off time. So I did the hernia surgery, obviously recovered from the hernia surgery, and I came back to the gym like around 5 weeks, 6 weeks after. And then that's whenever the nerve damage thing happened, where, dude, I hadn't lifted the weight and I go on the chest press and my right arm wasn't working anymore. So I'm almost
Mm.
100% positive that the reason that injury happened was because they did something to me on the operating table. Like I think that whenever they gave me anesthesia or something, I think the weight of my head went down like this really quickly. And I think that's what had herniated all those discs because there's no other reason why I would have that injury if I hadn't been lifting for 6 weeks. You know what I mean? So it just came out of nowhere. My right arm stopped working. And then I had to get through that for, I mean, how long was that, Alex? I was going through that for like two
Yeah.
months, 3 months.
That's
So that kind
crazy,
of
man.
wiped out the entire year. I couldn't do anything. I lost. I mean, and obviously the whole breakup situation on top of that, I got down to like 206 pounds and I compete at 206 pounds. So it wasn't a like
Right.
lean, it was like a skinny fat, like half the man version of me. So now I'm back up to, I think I weighed myself yesterday. I was back up to 217, 218. I think it was around there. And then I'm going to work my way back up to the 230s,
And
240s.
for most people that watching and don't know, Chris is a tall dude. So I think most people are like,
Yeah.
oh, 200, that's pretty big. But Chris,
Yeah.
he's got some height.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I bring up the parts that I needed to bring up because obviously my last Universe show and the Orlando show I did, I looked amazing, but my posing was the one thing that it was atrocious. And then two, the hernia looks weird. Didn't
Yeah.
do me any justice. And then three, I need to bring up my shoulders big time because I don't have wide clavicles, so I have to really, really bring up my shoulders to have a pro level physique. I mean, honestly, I have a pro level physique, but to be competitive in the pro level, it's not enough. My arms aren't big enough. So that's what I'm gonna be focusing on. So
Yeah. So we got your back was always pretty good.
yeah, my back's always fine. I mean, I usually have one of the best
But
backs on
yeah, now
stage.
that the hernia is fixed, that's gonna be
Yeah,
the
so
key.
that won't be there anymore. I mean,
But yeah, the
that
posing,
was
because you just need to open up more.
well, and that was also a warm-up show, and I wasn't posing correct like how I needed to pose back then. Like I used to bend that knee and it wasn't a good way of posing. So yeah, well so we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna obviously work really hard on posing this time around. Conditioning won't be a problem, especially now that there's Retta out there. I mean, dude, I've done every single prep without any fat burners or anything like that. So now that there's these peptides out there, I'm probably gonna be pretty easy to get peeled nowadays. And then we'll kind of run the gauntlet and see what we do. I mean, I don't have any expectations, man. To be honest, like I'm doing this year is going to be for fun for me to kind of just make a comeback, fall in love with the sport again because as you know, I fell out of love with it through the whole breakup situation and injury situations and things like that. So now that I'm healthy again, my life's going really good. Like finally in a good mental space to be able to really pick it up.
Can you touch up on that, Chris? What's that mental like? You got it because you got to like break that wall because sometimes we do put these like barriers in front of ourselves, especially when something happens. What kind
Yeah,
of
man.
like how did you break through that wall?
I mean, honestly, dude, like the number one thing I could say is like you just have to sit in your freaking feelings, man. Like for my situation, dude, like I was with this girl for 9 years, like we were about to get married and everything, and then she left me, and I didn't know what the hell to do, dude. It's like it's your life, like your whole life crumbles in front of you, and you're like, how do I fix this? And sometimes there's things that you just can't fix. You just have to sit there in your feelings.
And
You have to
feel it,
figure them out
grieve.
and you just can't give in to those bad, dark temptations that are always talking to you, right? And I'll,
Yeah,
I'll be the first one to tell you, dude, I had bad thoughts. Like I've spoke about this on Instagram. Like there was days that it took me till 1, 2 p.m. to get out of bed. I didn't eat for 6 days. Like I didn't drink water for 4 days. Like it was a bad thing. So really what I try to do is every time those thoughts were coming through my head, like bad thoughts or like memories, things like that, I'm like, okay, sit in these, like feel them. Like process it, understand
yes,
it. And
yes.
over time, it got better and better and better. And then, dude, it sounds absolutely crazy, but everyone says it too, like that's gone through something like this. They're like, dude, you're gonna wake up one day and everything's gonna feel fine.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. I woke up one day and I was like,
But
I'm
you
good.
allowed yourself because you see, I suffered a brain injury which led to PTSD, which led to like a whole bunch of depression, anxiety, and that feeling of getting stuck. And the main thing I tell people is you got to sit and process those feelings. It doesn't matter how big or small your trauma is. 9 years with someone, that's a long time. You already
Mhm.
had your whole life planned out with this person, and then
Yep.
they just up and leave.
Yep.
Then, yeah, so good, good. That
And
that's good advice for everyone is,
it's
hey, feel those
wild,
feelings.
man, because like you it's really weird whenever it comes to like the bodybuilding aspect too, because you have to have a perfectly clear mind to be able to do bodybuilding. That's my
Yes.
opinion. Like for you to be good at it, like you have to be almost all in. And for what I was doing, dude, I knew I didn't even want to go to the gym because I was like, dude, what's the point of me going to the gym if like I'm only going to do 50% of the weights that I'm doing? So now that I'm back on track and everything, it feels really, really good. It's crazy. Like I'm gaining, like I said, with muscle memory very, very quickly. My digestion is good again. Like now that my mental is good, it's crazy. My digestion is good. Everything starts up here, man, and
Mind,
it
mind,
trickles
body,
down.
soul. Mind, body,
Yeah,
soul.
dude. So, I was a person, dude, that kind of had no sympathy for people that had like depression or were going through things because I never had it. I never understood what it was like. And then now that I've gone through it, I'm kind of glad I went through everything because then it makes me obviously a better man and a better human being because I can understand other people and where they're coming from.
Also a better
But
coach
also, like
too.
I know how to deal with it now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like
Is
Christian said, it'll make you a better coach. It'll make you a better friend, a person, a partner to your future partner.
yes.
Um,
exactly.
I mean, we've spoken this at length. Like I went through something similar, a couple of years back, and I had my, demons to fight. And I remember the first few weeks going to the gym and like pretty much in tears. Like I was so depressed and I was just
Mhm.
going through the motions. And to your point, like I had mentioned this to you that you're gonna come to a point where it all changes for you. And the thing about bodybuilding is like it's not that things won't hurt or like the memories won't hurt, but it literally turns into fuel. Like at first it hurts and you feel very vulnerable, you feel very down, you feel like a victim. And then all of a sudden, it's not that you get over it in the sense of like it doesn't bother you anymore. It's just the way it bothers you is different. And it
You know
literally
how to deal with
changes
it.
and it actually fuels you. And I'm sure as you get back into the gym and you start to make that progress again and your physique starts picking up, your confidence is going to shoot through the roof. And you're going to look at this, you're already looking at it in different perspective, a different light, but it's really going to take off. Like this is just the beginning for you in your transformation. Like I'm telling you right now, like once your physique starts to come back to life, like this will make you a better person for sure. And like we've become close this year and or I guess last year, and I've already seen the strides because, when we were in the Caribbean, you were in a good spot. And like I said, there's two types of people in bodybuilding. There's the type that will use their I guess,
Trauma.
unfortunate or trauma in a negative way. They'll lash out. They'll become a worse version of themselves. Or there's a person that will take that and become more empathetic. And it's clear that that's the route you've taken. And I'm glad that's
Well,
the way
dude,
it's
and
going for you.
let me say this too. And through this whole process, like I've realized that things do happen for a reason. Like I do believe that God makes certain things happen, and the timing of things is just very ironic, right? And for me to meet you by the poolside at Jeanette's show, and obviously you were there, and Caitlin was there, and all that good stuff, and I had met you at that time, not knowing that you were going to be one of the major people that was helping me get through that time and that depression, everything like that. Like, what if I didn't meet you? Like, who would I have talked to all those times? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really weird how people are placed in your life at specific times,
And
and
to
I
speak
believe
life
that
into you too, you know.
exactly, man. So I'm thankful for that. And Alex, obviously, I'm thankful for everything that you
Yep.
did. I mean, I sat there rambling on about the same thing probably a million times. But just for somebody to listen, man, it goes a long way.
Sounds
So
familiar, huh, Alex?
But hey, look, you're gonna be what I was to you. You're gonna be for someone else in the near
of
future.
Yes.
course, of
And the thing
course,
is, like, the reason why I was able to sit through the conversations with you that honestly at some point it got repetitive, like you said, you're talking about the same story over and over because I know exactly what you're doing. I've been there. It for people that talk about there's some people just internalize and they can't get it out. People like us, we want to talk about it because it's a way of almost like freeing our mind and then you reset and then it kind of builds up again and then you need to talk about it and let it out and it's really just an exercise that's going to help you through it. So I knew that even if what you were saying was repetitive, it wasn't about what you were saying. It was the fact that you just needed to get it out. You needed to kind of verbalize these things. It helped you clear your mind. And I think that's a message for anyone listening is that it's okay to talk about it. It's actually a helpful thing. And I think I told you at the beginning, like you're gonna go through your stages of grief a lot quicker when you feel it deeply and you don't
yeah,
try to reject it.
mhm.
These things, like I'm sure you're gonna have some still bad days,
Yeah, of
again,
course, of
but
course.
you're gonna look at it through a different light, and I'm pumped for you to get back to the stage. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Is Ben gonna be taking over your when you get back in the swing of things, or are you gonna do it yourself?
I'm gonna do it myself. Yep, I'm basically probably gonna have somebody look over like what I'm doing just to whenever I start getting in my head like later on. But other than that, dude, I have all the skills to do it myself. I don't know why I would go to somebody else anymore at this point. That's just my opinion on it. And like I said, if I do get in my head, then I can just text a friend or a co like
Yeah.
Mike Nassif is one of my good friends. I could send him a couple pictures. Like, I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people in the industry, so I'll just send them over something, be like, hey, I'm feeling this way. This is what's going on. Like, let's change. Do I need to change something? All that good stuff. So I'm going to do it myself. And also, I think that at the end of the day, let's just say I do end up winning my show and all that good stuff. I will be more proud that I did it myself and I didn't rely on anybody after everything that's happened to me, that I picked myself up. I was able to do the prep myself. I was able to focus and do everything for me for once because I was so used to doing everything for somebody else that now I'm going to do it for me. And I want it to be me who does it for me, if that makes sense. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the main reason why people go for a coach is because, like you said, mind games towards, especially towards the end, it's very hard to
Well,
look at your
also,
numbers.
people haven't been in the game for almost 2 decades like me. Like, you're not going to have that knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
everyone should have a dude. I always say have multiple coaches. Literally work with somebody for a couple years, and if everything's going well, like obviously if you're going well, you're winning, winning, winning. Like, don't leave your coach. But I think that having different coaches and getting different viewpoints and different methods and everything teaches you many different things. And that's why I always make fun of people whenever they're talking about like coach hoppers and stuff like that. I'm like, honestly, it's their life. They can do whatever the hell they want. Like, it doesn't matter. And a lot of these people are coach hopping because they're trying to learn. They're trying to do different methods. Now, obviously, you do have the bad apples where they think that if they get second place at a show, it was all their coach's fault and they're not going to take blame for anything of themselves. But honestly, there's a lot of people I've seen that have gone from coach to coach because they just want to learn to be a better coach themselves. So to your point, dude, I mean, having a coach is probably the most, I would say, critical thing in the sport.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually want to talk about this coach hopping topic a little bit because it's become
Mhm.
more pronounced lately,
Yeah.
especially. I've had no, I'm on my fourth coach now. So Ben's my fourth coach. I've been in the sport for 5 years. And the first coaches I had were phenomenal people. But their biggest part of their business is lifestyle. And I figured like they're a married couple and it got to the point where I think they're perfect, especially for like entry level first timers, because they simplify it. They really teach you how to understand how to track your macros. They don't overcomplicate it, and they are very supportive people. And they are still to this day two of the nicest, best people in the sport I've met. Um, but I think like once it got to the point where I really want to progress to get to the national level and beyond, their focus is again a lot on the lifestyle. And I think it just got to the point where we decided mutually beneficial to part ways. And I went with, I know who you knew I went to next. That didn't work out. I think there's a big problem with gaslighting in this industry where coaches will make the athlete feel like it's always their fault, even if they're following the plan. And if the plan doesn't go accordingly, they'll blame the athlete instead of rethinking the plan that they set out originally. And then I was with a buddy of mine, a former friend of mine that coached me last, and I think the biggest reason for that, for me leaving that person, was that they were not able to think
Accountability.
accountability of their own decisions in the prep. And it's not, look, and I'm a coach myself now, I'll admit it. Like, you're, as a coach, you're probably not going to nail it every time. In fact, most times, there's going to be like maybe 10% of the shows that a coach will nail it. Another 20, 30% that's like, okay, that's pretty good, but we can get better. There's another 30% that's like, eh. And then the bottom percentage, it's like we completely missed. So there's a whole spectrum to this and there's levels to this. And I think coaches need to understand that it's, especially for me, I'm not expecting you to nail it, but if you don't have thoughts or notes on what could have gone differently or what we could try the next time, that tells me things are just going to stay the same. So, my first show this year was Battle of Bodies, and our plan was to come in peaked, shredded, like absolutely peaked, and then reverse and bring a slightly fuller look to the Amateur Olympia. The opposite happened. I was way, way fuller at Janet's, and I won my class, battled for the overall. It was a good look, and then went to Olympia, and I was dry and shredded as hell. but lost a lot of my fullness, especially in the chest. I actually don't mind both looks. I think finding a happy medium between the two would have been great. And so I was looking for the coach at the time to tell me like, what would we do to make those adjustments or why things didn't go to plan. And that person kind of gaslit me and told me I didn't know what I was looking at. And that's where that was a big signal to me. So I think if you're listening and you're wondering to yourself, what is it that makes me think I should go to a different coach? I think a big thing is the coach's ability to have notes on themselves. And
I
yeah,
I would say the biggest thing, man, is if you ask a coach a question and they can't give you a logical response back for that question, like they aren't going to give you, like they're not giving you data. Or like, I'll just give you an example. If you're like, okay, why are we doing 300 milligrams of testosterone? And your coach is like, just do it. Like, that's what we do. Like, that's a red flag for me. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, well, why 300 milligrams? Like, why are we basing it off of this? So I think the biggest thing with coaches is that they should be able to explain everything that they're doing with you. And then to your point, what you were saying is like, if you see these differences and you want a plan to look a certain way, they should be able to build a plan and know how to get you to be that way, especially for somebody that's worked with you for over a year. You know, they should know your body at that point. They should be able to nitpick all these little things and honestly agree with the client because the
right.
client, you're working for the client, dude. Like if your client wants
Yeah.
to work a certain way,
Oh
get them
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Like,
and
That
look, I hired you. But the thing
yeah.
yeah.
the thing is like, being in Vegas especially, there's so many variables that can go into plan or prep, but I think it's what's underspoken about is the location of a show and the climate and how can impact the physique. And my peak in Vegas was a lot of dig days, um, a lot of walking for random reasons, and my body was or I was already shredded at that time, and what I needed was more fluid and more food. And then on show day, I was given coffee and no water and barely any food. Now, again, I was even coming at, I mean, if I had gone and said like the look was horrible, I hated it, blah blah blah, with no constructive feedback, that would have been my fault. But that's not what I was saying. I was actually saying I actually can appreciate the level of dryness and conditioning that we were able to bring. I didn't hate the look, but here's what could have been better. And so again, that's where like that's an educated feedback from an athlete. That's not an athlete complaining. That's an athlete using their eye. They've settled down from the show. There's no emotion in it. And it's like,
Mhm.
here's where I think we could have done better. So there are athletes on the flip side that will complain for the most ridiculous reasons, and they won't even follow their plan. They'll say, when are we going to change the plan? And then it's like, but you haven't followed the plan to this point. So what would I change? So I'm not saying that this gives leeway for athletes to just complain and shit on their coaches, but like if an athlete who's been in the sport for a while, like myself, is giving you an educated piece of feedback, that's where it's like all I expect is some thoughtfulness and a little bit of a plan of action for the next
Like
step.
it's
Coaches don't have patience, bro. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And what I've realized a lot is, like you were saying earlier, is that a lot of coaches will feed you it's just lip talk, dude. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I can make you pro in a year," or "Oh, we can do this in the year." And a lot of people don't realize that bodybuilding is such a time, I guess, dragging sport, I guess you would say. So you're probably not going to get to the level of physique that you want in this year, or maybe even 2 years. So a lot of coaches, man, they get frustrated because with injuries, they're like, "Oh, well, I was planning on having them do the show in June or July." And I'll just give you an example for my clients. I have about 4 or 5 of them right now that we've been on 3-year off seasons. And those clients are my best clients. They're the ones that are putting in the work, they're making the changes, they're patient. And there's been injuries through all that process and everything like that. But you know what? Like this sport, it takes time, man. I don't think a lot of people want to take the time to do it. They want instant gratification. They see people on Instagram, they're like, how did this guy just get the shredder? How did he? Or you'll see like a guy like Anton, right? You say, oh, 19 years old. He looks like this. Why can't I look like that? Then you have clients saying that shit. And you're like, dude, this isn't how the world works. Okay. So I think the biggest problem with the coaches and athletes in general is they don't have enough patience. Not
mm,
enough patience at all.
I love you said that because this sport is
that's a
all
big
about
one.
delayed gratification.
Yep.
That's literally the name of the game. And I think most athletes in the sport miss that completely. They see the Instagram highlight reels. They want the instant gratification, which again is completely counterintuitive to what the sport is about. I took an 18-month off season, and that's the only reason why I was able to become nationally qualified.
Yep.
Obviously, I started my TRT treatment, which I definitely needed now being in my mid 30s, and that definitely helped wonders. But if I hadn't taken an entire year off and plus some, there's no way I would have made the progress I did.
Bro, that was my number one regret. Like for the first 5 years of competing was I wanted to do show after show. I was doing 2, 3 shows a year and I never grew, dude. And I have this
Right.
athlete, he's a young kid, he's 24 years old, and I think 24, maybe 23. He's pretty freaking young. Maybe even actually 22. I know he can't rent a car, let's just put it that way. But he wants to do a show again and he's looking good. Like he's in his off season. He's been in his off season since the St. Pete show last
I
year.
think I know who you're
And
talking
he won the
about.
overall there. You know who it is. It's
Yeah.
Will. And I have to tell him every single day in the gym, I'm like, dude, you need to take another year to grow. And he's like, oh, but I want to do another show. Like, I want to get my pro card. I'm like, dude, I go, what does it matter if you get a pro card? I go, anyone can get a damn pro card nowadays. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But I go, how do you want to look whenever you're on stage with the pros? Or do you want to take another 2 years after you get your pro card? You're gonna have to grow anyways. I'm like, why don't you just do that now? And then why
Mhm.
don't you just grow for another year, show up to nationals, look like a pro, crush everyone there, then go right to the pro stage and be competitive. I'm like, you're gonna have to do it no matter what. But a lot of people love competing so much that they will literally hinder themselves, their career in the sport because they want to do a show. Like for me, my first 5 years, show, 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 show. I didn't
Yeah.
grow. I grew like maybe 3 pounds a year, 3, 4 pounds of muscle a year. And I started off my first competition, I weighed 177 on stage, bone shredded. But it's taken me this long to get up to the 205s, and I could have probably done that with a good 2, 3 year off season whenever I was 26 years old to 29, and I'd be on the pro circuit right now, probably getting top five if I did that. But I never did it.
Here's the
So
reality.
it's
Here's
that
the
patience
reality.
piece,
In
bro.
2026, it is so hard to be honest as an athlete. Like you say anything that's constructive criticism about yourself, and people will take that as weakness.
Yeah.
Because all people ever talk about right now is how good they are or what they can do,
Yeah, well,
what they're
but
gonna do.
that's social media's
Like
fault,
when I,
man.
I
Like
remember, I
we're
remember
supposed to be
this past
perfect.
year in
We're supposed to be
2025,
perfect.
I kept saying my goal is to get to Amateur Olympia, get nationally qualified, look as good as I possibly can, shut it down, and then come back and go for pro. And people kept saying to me like, "Why would you not talk about your pro card now? Like, why are you limiting yourself?" I'm like, that, I'm not limiting myself. There's stages to this
Call
and
it being
there's levels
realistic.
to this, right? I will be a pro eventually, but I don't need to worry about the pro card when I'm still worried about just getting to the national stage in the first place, right? One thing before the other. Like you
Oh, but
focus
that's
on,
individual based too, Alex. I mean, sometimes people have to have like this delusion in their head to make it to that space too. But
well,
there should be a balance of being
well,
delusional and
to
being
be honest,
realistic.
in how competitive the sport is right now, it would still delusional to even get to. I think people don't put enough respect on how hard nationals is now to get to nationals and look good. Like there
I
was a guy
agree.
in my class, Alex Perdone. He just got his pro card at Texas, and this guy looks unreal. I saw him walk out. I'm like, this guy, he didn't even win the class. And
He
I
did
was
it.
just glad. Sorry?
He
Oh,
didn't. I thought he did.
no, he came second.
Shit.
The guy looks nuts. He's one of the bio athletes. But yeah, I mean, the guy looks incredible. Um,
He didn't win his class.
he not at Amateur Olympia. He won his
What
class at
class
Texas.
was he in?
We were
Oh, amateur Olympia. I thought you meant
no, no,
at
no,
Texas.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, he did.
So my point being is I'm stepping on stage with guys that are about to be pros, right? My goal was, look, I want to look like I belong. I'm not going to go in with any expectations. I just want to bring a great physique and look like belong on the national level. I'll worry about what comes next after that. And I think a lot of people look at that kind of mindset like, oh, well, it's you're undercutting yourself. And next time on a national stage, yeah, like top five, approve of my seventh place finishing, top five, push for the pro card. Levels to this. I battled for overall, won my class this year, regionals. I battled for an overall, didn't win the overall. Next time I'm going to win the overall, right? Increments. And then worry about, the Olympia. I mean, I'm never going to Olympia, but because I refuse to push the drug game. But I'll worry about what comes next after that. I think so many people get caught up in being an Olympian and being a pro. And it's unfortunate because it's just going to make the journey that much more painful because you only get your pro card one time, and when that happens is it can vary a lot. And if you're one of the people that takes, 4 or 5 years to get a pro card, which is totally normal, you're just gonna hate the 4 years or 5 years it takes to get there. So why not just enjoy the wins along the
Enjoy the
way?
process,
The
man.
process,
Enjoy the
the journey.
process. It
Yeah.
sounds so corny, but it's the truth. Like
Well, let's be real, dude. 99.9% of the people that do this shit aren't gonna make it to a first call out in a pro show. Okay, so
yeah.
fucking enjoy what you're doing. Like, stop taking it so damn seriously. Live your damn life. Like, it's crazy to me, man. And I guess I was that person that was obsessed, dude. In my 20s, I was like, dude, I gotta do this, gotta do that. And like, my life success was based off of that. Like, my gym progress and my stage and all like the placings I was getting in. Dude, now that I'm in my mid 30s, I'm looking back, I'm like, am I glad that I did all that? Absolutely. Like I loved my life. I loved being in the gym every single day. Like I would never take it back. But I look back now and I kind of chuckle a little bit because I'm like, wow, dude, like you really had no chance like at the Olympia. Like you really didn't. I mean, yeah, maybe if I didn't have injuries and all that good stuff, like you would maybe come close. But think about how many people that are sacrificing their work life, their home life, time with their kids and family, the money situation, all of that to chase something that you have to actually pay for. It's wild to me. And I think everyone should see this as a hobby. And if you're good enough to make a living out of it, then go, you'll know that pretty quickly if you're good enough to make a living out of it. But I think that this sport traps a lot of people um because they're delusional, like we said. They think they're something that they're not.
But I
So
will say the hard argument that you shouldn't, there's a lot of people out there now saying you shouldn't bother with the sport if you're not going to be an Olympian or make a ton of money from it. I also don't agree with that mindset either. I think it's completely fine to make it to the pros and never really do well in the pros and appreciate
yeah,
the fact that you are a freaking pro. I think there's enough people out there, like we just talked about everyone so desperate to get that pro card, but I don't think there's enough appreciation once people get that pro card because as soon as they get that pro card, it's all about the
you'll never win
Olympia.
again.
And once
You'll never
again,
win
they're just
again.
going to be failing that entire time instead of just saying, damn, I'm a freaking IFB pro and appreciate what that means. Same way how I can appreciate just getting to the national level and what that national stage means in today's spectrum of bodybuilding, right? And how hard it is to do well in the national level. So I think people need to have appreciation for all these different levels that they're at, their stages to this game.
Stages.
They're
Yeah.
all important. It's not just pro card and Olympia. That's just not how the sport works.
I agree.
No.
And I personally, I really hope that eventually they create a level below regionals. I think we're at the point where you go to a regional show and
Dude,
you'll
they used to
see,
have tiered shows, man. They
right,
had
like
that
you'll
back in the day.
see drastic difference between these classes. You'll see the national level guys and then the people that just start in the sport and everyone between and I think that it's the sport has grown to the point where we should have a level below regionals that you then qualify for the regionals and then go to nationals, almost like how in high school you
They
have
had that before, but
counties,
they ain't gonna bring it
states,
back.
nationals. Well, and I think if they did it, they should make that first level be natural. I think athletes should always start the sport naturally to learn the basics and learn how to control the variables before adding in PEDs. I started
I agree with
naturally.
that.
I did several shows naturally, and I was able to do so much more with so much less on the drug side because of that. Um, and I think it's unfortunate that a lot of these newer athletes are coming in, like especially a lot of these guys that I've had to coach posing for they asked me what I'm on, I asked what they're on, and they were just giving me a laundry list of all this stuff, and I'm just like, this guy's never been on stage yet. Like, that's crazy. So
Why is he taking 4 cc's of trend? It doesn't
I
make
would love
sense.
to see, they're taking Halo, they're taking all these things. I'm like, but have you followed a meal plan before? Have you gotten down to 3% body fat before? Like,
This is why interviewing coaches, I think, before you make a decision is important. Because if I talk to you, Alex, or I talk to you, Chris, it sounds like you guys like really genuinely care about the person as a person, not for what they have to offer or the potential of them becoming some big time Olympian. So I think it's very important to know the person's goals and their mindset too. Because if you could talk to someone on that level, then you understand, okay, they're in this for the long term. They're not in this for, to be Instagram famous or go viral on a video or, you know, whatever it takes. So,
No,
yeah.
100%, man. I mean, dude, you got to care about your athletes, man, because the number one way that you can kick yourself out of this industry is by hurting someone. The second you hurt an athlete, you put them in the hospital, you get a bad reputation, man. You sleep with your clients, whatever that may be, dude, you're screwed, man. So, I mean, that level of care has to be like you have to be a coach that cares about their athletes because you're not going to make it in this game, man. There's too many good coaches out there that, I mean, for example, Alex, Ben made you get blood work right away, right?
Yeah.
If a coach doesn't do that,
Red flag.
probably not looking at somebody who cares about you.
Blood work, body comp, everything. Got
Yep,
my scan
yep. There's a
done.
reason why.
Um, I think, but going back to like let's use Will as an example. I mean, if he told you his goal, I guess it's like, what are your immediate goals? If his immediate goal is to make the nationals and bring a good physique, sure, you can get him back right now. He's looking good. If his goal is if he's just so focused on that pro card and being a pro, like for me anyway, right? Like if my coach had asked me this question and I said my goal was to get to the amateur Olympia, get to nationals and look good. If I had said my goal is to be a pro right now, then I wouldn't have come back yet. You know? Like so you're gonna have to take time off regardless of when it is, right? So like I guess with Will as an example, you could bring him back now, he could look good, but then it's just gonna take then he's gonna have to shut it down after that for a little bit. Or he
Well,
could shut
no,
it down now for even longer and then come back and do it
but he's a
all.
young guy, right? And
Yeah.
young guys, they're on social media all the time. They envy these people and having that pro status, especially him, man, his money is based off of his peptide business and coaching. So a lot of these people think, oh, if I get the pro card, that's going to make me a better coach because I can put IFBB Pro in my bio, yeah, whatever the fuck it is. And honestly, that does nothing for you. Like what you're doing is hindering your own because what's going to bring you more clients? The pro card or winning pro shows?
Yeah.
Winning
Winning
pro
pro
shows,
shows.
that's going to get you fucking known, right? So take the time to do what's actually going to make you money rather than that quick satisfaction of getting the pro card now, feeling good about yourself because you're young and everything. But dude, if you kick that can down the road a little bit, you kick it down another 2, 3 years, it's like the same thing as like Terrence Ruffin, dude. Terrence Ruffin took off 2 years, comes back, dominates again, right? And he was slipping places, but dominates again, becomes one of the top classic physique guys. Everyone knows about him. He's doing great in business, doing all these things because he took that time. But do you think that those 2 years he wasn't questioning his own decisions and being like, oh shit, like my business is going, my numbers are probably going down because I'm not being seen anymore. I'm not having enough sales with my sponsors because I'm not competing. Things like that. That gets to people. They always want to be in people's faces, like we were talking about before. Instagram, it's all flashy. We need to be in front of people. That's how we make money. But dude, if you just hold off and you take a couple of years, kick that can down the road, you're going to be way better off in the long run. And that's what I'm trying to tell Will every single day is, bro, just be patient. I know you want to be shredded. We all like to look shredded. Like I love walking outside and I'm just fucking peeled. Like that's awesome. But dude, if you take 2 years, man, and you come back and you're jacked and you win the pro card and you start doing good on the pro stage, you're gonna reap all the benefits from that. So if there's anyone out there that's listening to this that
Yeah.
you're thinking about doing a show just to do a show because you want to be shredded, but your long-term goal is to be successful in the sport, don't do it. Grow. Take the time. The stage
Yeah.
isn't going anywhere. The stage will always be there. Especially here in Florida, we have like 100 shows. Like you can
I
do everything.
promise in
Yeah.
2 years there'll be 100 more
Put,
shows.
put this way, put
I'll
this way.
tell-
The one that because I had this surgery coming up and it kind of thought gave me a new way to look at this. Competing is almost like having a surgery because you're not growing in that period, right? You're going through prep, you're eating a lot less food. For different reasons, you're not making progress than surgery,
Yeah.
right? But it's basically like you're going through an elective surgery because for 3 to 4 months, your body's going to be in a deficit, right? And you're just holding on to whatever you can for dear life, right? And you'll look aesthetically like cosmetically, you'll look good because you're taking the PEDs and everything, you're eating low body fat, but it's weird if people start thinking about it that way. Like, oh, am I going to choose to do my surgery now? So I guess if you pose, I'd be wonder what he would say. Like, Will, like, would you want to do a surgery now or wait a little bit so you have a little more mass before you go into the
Well,
knife?
bro, like Cuts coaches him. Like Cuts does his diet, PDs, like I do the training, all that stuff, and posing and all that. And I literally told him, I was like, bro, I go, because he said, "Oh yeah, Cuts wants me to do what was it, Universe or whatever." I go, "No." I go, "Cuts doesn't want you to do Universe." I go, "You said you wanted to do Universe, and so he's giving you the plan to do that." I go, "I guarantee you, if I call him right now and I ask him what you should do, he's going to tell you to grow for another year." And then he was like, "Oh, well, let's ask him, dude. Shit, you not." Call him up and says right away, he goes, "Yeah, I think that he's in his head. He wants to be shredded, like all this other stuff." And he's like, "He should keep growing." And I'm like, "See." I go, but back to our point before, whenever you hire a coach, usually they're always going to do what you want them to do. Like
Not
if I
Ben.
say,
Not Ben.
huh?
Ben.
Look, that's different. That dude, Ben will even let you take a shit if he doesn't want you to take a shit. But anyways, so I don't even know what the fuck I was getting at there, but
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
No, I hear you. Well, yeah, I think look, and Will's looking good. We follow each other on Instagram. He is
yeah,
looking good, and I mean, his legs are looking good
he
too. Like you
has a
can tell,
future in the sport.
yeah, you could tell that he's put on some quality mass. But he's pretty tall, right? Like how tall is he?
5'10".
So not, but he's not a short
But
guy. So
also,
yeah.
you make a point there too. You said he's looking big, right? Off-season big is deceiving, okay? Because whenever you start cutting down, you're not as big as you actually think you are. Whenever you think you're big, you probably need to gain another 10 pounds for you to actually
What's the
have a
quote?
sizable
What's the
difference.
quote? You should look like you're in a different division in your off season. So
Yeah.
like if you're a physique, you should look classic in the off season, almost.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's kind
Oh
of
yeah.
true. I'm looking forward to getting a surgery and getting it's gonna help my taper even more because I'm like an accordion that's kind of like compressed. And then also can build up my posterior chain again. I've always had decent quads, but like I've really had to neglect my posterior chain just because I risk reward, right? The risk of pushing my lower body training when I'm in a division that I have more to make up for anyway with my upper body and more improvements to make there. I chose to make that my primary focus. And so I'm looking forward to being able to push my leg days harder again once I have the surgery. And that's going to help in all different ways. You know, you boost your testosterone when you push your legs. It'll help the X frame. So, um, and I'm just glad that procedures are where they are these days and that it's, I'll only be out of the
Oh,
gym
you'll
for four
recover so
weeks.
quick, man.
Yeah. But look, again, this all goes back to I'm in a prime place now to get a procedure like this, right? Like I took the 18-month off season to have another good run and get to nationals. And now that I'm shutting it down, I didn't want to do the surgery right after prep or my season, right? Like I wanted to gain some healthy weight back. So now I'm sitting at like 100, 185, I'm 5'8". So, going to the procedure, I feel a little more confident with the body mass I have. And it's taken me this long, 4 or 5 years, to appreciate an off-season look too. Like people need to understand when you look in the mirror, if you're looking for abs in the off-season, you're going to be disappointed every single freaking time you look in the mirror. If you look for fullness and shape, you're probably going to be pleased. So I'm actually like, this is the first time I'm in my off season. I'm just like actually thrilled about it. And I'm like confident, happy with my physique. Whereas in the past I was like just like everyone else. Oh man, I hate being a little chubby. I hate having this extra body fat. But it's because I had to look for different things. I mean, again, if people are looking for abs in the mirror during the off season, you're always going to be disappointed. So appreciate because when you get into prep, you're going to miss that fullness because in prep you're pretty much flat the entire time.
We always want what we don't have. Like in prep, we want to
Exactly.
be huge, and
Yeah.
whenever we're huge, we want to be shredded. We'll never be happy.
So if I have any tip for anyone watching, like in the prep, look for the conditioning, look for the abs, be happy for it. Don't look for fullness in the prep.
Dude,
And
you want to know something pathetic? I actually liked being skinny and small whenever I went through all my shit. Like I was looking at myself and I'm like, I look kind of decent. Like
probably
my
this is
face
all
wasn't all
subjective.
jacked up from like being on tests and all that stuff. Like it wasn't inflamed from all the food.
Yeah.
Like my body looked healthy for like once in a while. And there's different forms of healthy is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I look healthy whenever I'm like 4 weeks out from a show and I'm got abs and everything, like whatever, but it's a different kind of healthy. Like where I was looking at myself and I'm like, wow, like after this bodybuilding thing is done, it actually helped my brain with coming to terms later on of when I'm going to stop this because I was like, wow, I actually look and feel good and it's not affecting my life and how I feel about myself. And that was a big thing because that was a big fear for me is, okay, I'm creeping up in age. I'm in my mid 30s. I'm like, I can only do this probably. I mean, I'm not no AJ Ellison, but thinking maybe low 40s, right? Maybe. And I'm like, what am I going to do after this? Like, how am I going to feel whenever I'm walking around the street and I'm not that guy that people are like, "What's up, big guy?" It's gonna be like, "What's up, dude?" Like I'm not that big guy anymore. I'm not the guy that has muscles. So
Yeah.
it was a really good mental relief actually to be able to feel normal um, after going through that.
Hey, and the thing is, we talk about being small and prep, like we're still bigger humans than most, you know? Like a lot of my
Yeah,
people that aren't in the sport will look at us and be like, what do you mean you're small?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
again, I think just being grounded and your mind's always gonna play tricks on you. You know, body dysmorphia is a real thing. You can't, like, we're only human. People think that it doesn't affect them. People that say that they don't have body dysmorphia is just not true. It's impossible not to have it to a certain degree.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
but that's where I think just having the right circle around you, a circle that's honest with you. I mean, look, like if you just have an off season, eat a shit ton of food, and you have no plan about it, and you're sloppy, that's not progress, right? Like, so there's something to be said for respecting the game, like going about these things the right way. But yeah, like you just gonna have to accept in the
I,
off season you're not gonna be peeled. I mean,
I think the one thing that people don't talk about though a lot is that okay, so most of us, all use drugs for the sport, right? And we use drugs for a very long time. And when you're done with your bodybuilding career, right? Do you know how hard it is to get off gear whenever you've been on for so long? It almost becomes an addiction, right? Because that is what's giving you that relief from body dysmorphia, right? You're taking testosterone, whatever that may be, you're bigger, rounder, fuller. And a lot of people, they struggle with coming off of that stuff. So, like how you are doing your bodybuilding, Alex, is probably the best way to do it because you're pretty much on TRT dose, just a little bit over. Like you're not affecting your health or anything. Like if you need to taper down, like you're fine, you're good. But these guys that are running copious amounts of gear, I really think that that's where we're having the health problems and stuff in bodybuilding is it becomes an addiction. You continue to push because in your head you're thinking, okay, I can't get small again. Like I don't want to be that small guy. Like
yeah,
I've done all this work over the years. Like I don't want to lose this. And people continue to push the drugs over to old age, and then you start having these deaths that happen in the late 40s, early 50s. So I just want people to know, like that, listen to this podcast or even listen to our Men's Physique Radio podcast and all that stuff. Like don't become reliant on these drugs for your progress. Like take time off of these things, like in the off season, like come off for multiple months and you'll be surprised at how much one, more effective they're going to be, and two, how it's going to help your mental well-being.
yeah.
So I just
And
want
look,
to get that out there
I
because
agree. I made a lot of progress quickly, as anyone would when they first introduce
yeah,
kind of PEDs in. But yeah, I think like for me now I'm only on like 175 a week of
your
tests.
progress with the amount that you're using is actually pretty insane.
But again, Chris, this goes back to the
But
beginning part of
but
the conversation where
first off, Alex, you gotta take that in because you gotta appreciate what he just said,
no,
bro.
I
Yeah,
do appreciate
motherfucker.
it. I think part of it is just like I did 3 shows naturally and I had to learn how to follow the plan to a T so that when I introduce even a little bit, my body's going to go that much farther with it. And also, how are you supposed to know it works for your body if you're introducing so many things at once? Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, of course. I mean, Chris is someone that's been in the game for a long time, and I appreciate his opinion. If Chris is telling me I made progress, I'm going to take that more seriously than certain people that would just, slap me on the back for anything. It's like Chris would, if I
I
look
think I would
bad,
also tell you if you suck too. I'd
yeah, he
definitely
would.
tell
If look,
you.
if I took PDs and I didn't bring a good look and Chris told me that, like I would have to take that to heart and be like, okay, what do I need to do? Because that shouldn't be the way, right? So the fact that he's telling me that I did make that progress means a lot to me because I trust his opinion. And
Actually, you make a really good point. You made me think about something too, like with the sport, is that you have a lot of people that get butt hurt very freaking easily, right? And we're in a literally a subjective sport. Like you get on stage and you have human beings tell you if you look good or you don't look good, and they place you, right? And you have social media and people say negative things like they may not like your physique or whatever. And dude, I can't begin to describe how much drama comes off of people's opinions. And I want people to realize like it's okay if someone doesn't like your physique. Like people see my physique and they're like, dude, I would never want to look like that guy. Like I don't like it. But then they look at Nick Walker and they're like, dude, I would love to look like that guy.
yeah,
But me personally, I wouldn't want to look like him. So
hell
I
no.
think in this industry, bro, like people, one, it's very hard to take compliments because we're so used to being, I guess, ridiculed and judged all the time.
Or gaslight,
So, and
yeah.
then two, We always are on high alert because we're posting our bodies on social media, we're getting on stage and all this other stuff, and we have body dysmorphia, whether you fucking want to admit it or not. And we take everything to heart, right? And some of us take it a little bit too much to heart. And I think that's a big plague in our industry is that people just can't take criticism. And sometimes the criticism isn't right. You know, you don't have to listen to someone. You don't have to take whatever their negative feedback is and roll with it. But
That's important.
sometimes look at yourself and be like, hey, maybe this person's right. You know, like a person like me, I'm going to be real with you every single time and be like, hey, like if someone says, oh, my back's really good, I'm like, well, honestly, it could be better here, here, here. Some people get pissed off of that and they're gonna be like, wow, he doesn't think I have a good back. Or you could be like, oh, well, maybe he made a good point here. Maybe I can be better. You know, so with this sport and people are listening to this, man, if people are giving you feedback and everything, like take it with a grain of salt, but always look within yourself. Like the same thing we were talking about with coaching earlier. Like maybe if an athlete is saying something to you, look within yourself if you need to make some changes because your business is going to be reflective on that. And the only way that you're going to get better is by listening to feedback because
Yes.
it is
I
what it
mean,
is.
you have to like maybe it's because a lot of these.
Can I bring up a point, Alex, real quick?
Yeah, go for it, Chris.
So I think with just like hate or negative criticism in general, if we just take the bad out of it and listen to what they're trying to say, and
Hmm.
then we do bring that to our coach, hey, coach, man, someone told me this. What do you think? Like for yourself, Chris, who's
Hmm.
like, you're straight up.
Yeah,
You could take that as a coach and be like, hey, look, I mean, I didn't like the way they put that, but like you said, you could bring out this part of your back, which may take this amount of time. So I think we get too caught up in like the going back and forth, the drama of it, that we don't really take out the learning of
that's a
what
really
we
good
could learn
point.
from that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great point. The one thing that really got me through like the whole negative comment aspect is being on NPR, Men's Physique Radio. And at the beginning, dude, I used to go scroll down the comments and I'd read them. And dude, sometimes it would affect me. I'd be like, wow, why does this guy say this or whatever? And now I scroll down the comments and like I'm laughing about it because for one, like if someone's commenting something negative to you, they're projecting something within themselves. Like they are insecure about themselves. So a lot of
There
people
you
are like
go.
this Chris
Life
guy,
is
like why
all
the fuck is he
projection.
on here? Like this like whatever. It's like, okay, well, you're just mad that you're not the random guy on the freaking podcast. Like, why is it bothering you? You're here listening to me. Like
Yeah.
you're literally sitting on here, you're taking the time to comment. Like
To taking
you're
time to
playing
come.
yourself, bro.
Yes.
But honestly,
But
that's a
I
great
mean,
point because think about it yourself. We all have moments where we're not our best self, right? And we'll say something mean about someone, right? If you
oh yeah.
sit and think about it for a second, you'll realize that it's your own projection. And
Yes.
and I think once you can be real about yourself and that we have that tendency too, you're only human, that's just I guess an exaggerated form of it when you're reading some of these nasty comments. But like I'll be real, like I think it's okay to get on stage before you're ready to really be an NPC athlete, right? Like when I talk about NPC athlete, like someone that's like looks the part, could really push for a national stage, right? There's levels to this, but as long as you have the right mindset, you're not blowing smoke up your own ass, right? Like if when in 2023, if I had stepped on the stage saying I'm ready to be a national level guy, like please slap me in the face. Like that's just not the truth. But I knew that and I was honest about it. I'm like, okay, this is just part of my journey. Eventually I'll get there. But I think it's the people that get on stage, don't look the part, but then have this like crazy, like I guess distorted view of themselves that causes a bad rep in a sport where you see people on stage, it's like show some respect for the people that put in the work. And so I'm not saying for people like it's totally okay to get on stage before you're ready to be a national level person, because guess what? Like
You still got to
even
go through the process.
even
You still got to
Olympians
learn.
started
Yeah.
off, everyone starts somewhere. And I'm gonna put like when I did Battle of the Bodies in 2023, I was not ready really to be on stage. But I would never have gotten to the 2025 me.
Damn, Alex, you're beautiful, bro. I don't
All
know
right,
if I ever
relax. So
told you this. Look,
now you're just blowing smoke.
but look at the
But
difference, bro. It's
but
like
look,
you
like
just change
I'm
it
gonna be
into a
real. I'll
different
shit on
person,
myself right
bro.
now. In 2023, I did not look ready, right?
Yeah.
But again, like you can't be ready until you're not. Like you have to be not ready before you are ready. And um, but that's just my point to people that are just starting the sport or they feel a little subconscious getting on stage, for the first time, because they're going to look at a lot of guys like that are national level guys or pros, and they're going to be like, oh shit, I don't look like that yet. That's fine, but don't kid yourself. There's a lot of work to be done, and but I appreciate what you said, Chris, and I think hope I'm a newer coach and you've been the coach team a lot longer, but We need more coaches like you who have that, like, I guess, grounded approach to the sport,
And
um,
patience.
and patience, and you want the best for the
Yes.
athlete. It's not spoken about enough. I think sometimes when coaches talk empathetically, they think it's going to make them look weak, and it's like
Mhm.
that's just not the true. Like that's not the way 2026 is going to be.
Mhm.
Just like we've seen a change in the tide in the way people talk about health, right? Like now it's all about blood work and being as healthy as possible and taking less. So it's no longer cool to just blast all the time. Like that's just not how people talk about the sport anymore. Like that's not cool. Even Nick Walker himself will talk more about Reta and peptides than he will about how much tren he's taking or how much, other stuff he's taking. So it's a
No,
different world
absolutely,
now.
man.
But
Absolutely, man. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, I think that all coaches should kind of have a, I'm not going to say a mindset like me, but they need to be very, very upfront, straightforward with their athletes. But whenever you are upfront and tell your athletes something like, let's just say their back's bad or whatever that may be, have a solution to go with it. Because you can be a coach that's like, that can tear down their athletes and be like, you're not doing this, this, and this. But how are we going to fix those things? How are we going to
Yes.
break it down and then give a detailed explanation and plan on how to do that? And I know there's a lot of cookie cutter coaches out there that throw little chat GPT plans out there and everything like that. But I think the best coaches, I mean, Ben being one of them, is somebody that will literally sit there and talk to you for an hour about your plan and figure out what we're going to do for the future. And that's what your coach should do. You should literally be there for your athlete, have explanations for everything, and honestly, almost take more ownership in it than the athlete themselves. Like you should want them to win more than that athletes want themselves to win. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
dude, every single time I've won a pro card or an athlete's won an overall, I've cried with that athlete backstage.
Yeah.
Like I'll admit it, I cried. I get tears on my face. Like I'm that freaking happy for that person because seeing them happy is what brings me joy. And yeah, we go through a lot of hard conversations and I may be a dick sometimes and things like that. But at the end of the road, whenever you finally see that success, dude, it's literally the best feeling. And I like coaching better than I do competing because me getting a win, like cool, like yeah, I put in the work, all that good stuff, like it's great. But seeing somebody else win that took your advice and trusted in you, that dude, that I think that's the biggest honor, honestly, is that somebody, even though they pay you and all this stuff, like they trusted you and your decisions and your guidance. And to get the win after that, to say, hey, like you trusted me and I performed and I stuck it out with you and we did it, dude, there's no better feeling than that
seeing your
shit.
athletes win, seeing your friends win.
Yeah,
I
dude.
met Chris on stage. We were in the same class in UGP 2023, and I learned about what the adversities Chris had to go through with being a former cop. He got hit by a car. He
Damn.
had, a lot of serious head injury. And I think people don't respect that. They see the end result, but they don't see what it takes to get there, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
They'll see Chris on stage and they'll say, oh, he looks good. But the way I look at it, I'm like, damn, Chris. I don't even think about how good he looks. I'm like, Chris, like, do you understand what you had to go through to bring this physique to the stage? Like, let's just use last year's University example. Like, I know Chris knew he could have brought maybe even better physique on that day, but I'm like, Chris, well, one, you look a whole lot better than you did when you first started the sport. And two, just think about like if you had seen this picture, if I had to go back in time and you were in that hospital bed, right? And I showed him a picture of what his universe physique looked like. I'm sure he would look at a whole different light than on that day. And that's where, like, I think it's always perspective. And it's so important to have the right circle around you to keep you grounded. Because it's like, damn, Chris, like,
You could be hard on you. We're
you
we're
didn't
we're
get
our
your pro
biggest enemy,
card. You
bro.
didn't get your pro card, but damn, do you realize what you actually look like and what you had to do to get to this point?
Yep.
You
Like,
just made a really good point, and I do this a lot to myself, right? So anytime I get down in life and I'm like, oh, I'm not being as successful as I thought I'm going to be, or whatever that may be, I always think about whenever I was like 7, 8 years old, and I'm like, okay, what you just said, like, if you were 7 or 8 years old and you showed yourself like who you are now, like if my 7 year old self could look at me, my 7 year old self would be like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like that's who I want to be. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm ever down and I start thinking about that, it always brings me back up. I'm like, wow, dude, like I'm actually ahead of where I thought I was going to be at this age or this time, or I have more in my life than I thought I was going to have, like my expectations were. So
Yeah.
you make a really good point about the whole competing thing. Like if you really sit back and yeah, you see the end result, and maybe it might not be what you thought it would be. Like you're a little down on yourself. But if you were to show yourself 4 or 5 years ago that picture, yourself would be like, holy shit, that's me. Like it
That,
happens every time.
And
that's
it's
why gratitude
yeah.
is important because you get to appreciate that. You get to appreciate the highs and lows. Like Chris, when we started this conversation, you're talking about I was in this mental hell, and now you appreciate that you were in that mental hell. Not a lot of people are gonna admit that. Why?
Yep.
Because that sharpened your mind to make you who you
I
are
mean,
today.
Yep.
Chris, like if I had shown you last year,
Bam.
like
Yeah. Big
like
chunky boy.
like chunky chunk, but like
Damn.
and the fact that you're able to do what you did after what most
This was
people would just
wild.
get to then bring a physique, to universe and battle with the best amateurs in the world. Like I know on the day it's only natural for us to be like, oh, like I want my peak to be better, or do this, and this.
You got a
But
good back, dude.
it's also
Damn.
his back is
Thank
crazy.
you.
And I
Appreciate that,
know,
bro. Thank you.
and I've told Chris numerous times that his back is gonna be like, I mean, it's just the it's hard to
It's
put
a
a
great
word.
structure. He's got his erectors go all the way down to the lower
Yeah,
back. I mean, that honestly, that picture doesn't even do it justice. Like his stage picture was good because you could see his lower back going into the erectors and it flows all the way up. A lot of people are missing like lower back, the lower erector areas, but
yeah,
he's not missing at all. I mean, honestly, his physique, I guarantee you already freaking know what it is. You just need more shoulders and chest to fill out. I
Yeah.
mean, other than that, your abs are fine. You just need to be a little bit drier, but dude, you have the shape, you have the wide clavicles, the wide structure, like you have it. You
he
just got to
actually
grow
has
muscle in
pretty
the upper
good
shelf.
delt. He actually has good delts. It's just posing. We just need to fix some
All
things.
right, but like I said, if we're being real, dude,
But yeah,
you
no,
got
I
way
agree.
better delts. Like
But he
they
everyone
could
in the
be,
always need delts, like yeah,
Yeah.
and his chest and but Chris is spot on with the back and what he just said. Like you have you have all the tools and now it's just like peaking well. But my point being is just like I again where you came from. Um Now everyone has their own adversity. It's just like, but there's level set too. Like some people just don't have the same kind of adversity that some other people have to go through. Like, and Chris, that's why like to you, Chris, not Chris M, but Chris. Well, I always think Chris John. It's not even your real name, but Chris
just call
John
me the acoustic one.
when he comes back, like I know what you had to go through this past year, and it's
Yeah.
like one thing for you to come back, you know, normally, like just through a normal year coming back and just having to go through the prep again, but having to rebuild yourself mentally and then physically. But I actually think, again, it's going to be your superpower. And I think you're going to come back with
Oh,
even
it's going
better
to be.
physique
Yep.
than if you hadn't gone through this.
Yep.
And so again, I think this goes to show like the people that you have around you can
Dude,
make
I'm
or
the
break.
best team now. After everything that happened, dude, I know who the true people are in my life. Dude, I'm more at peace now than I think I could have ever been. And I think like a lot of people are like, oh, use the rage from it. Dude, I have no fucking rage. I don't have any anger. I don't have anything, dude. I have peace. And that
Yes.
is what's going to be the driving factor because I'm not stressed about anything. I'm not,
Yes.
dude, I'm living my life and I'm happy right now. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that. So that's going to be the main driver.
Dude, I it gives me chills just thinking about because
Right.
again,
Let me mention this though. Like in bodybuilding, we normalize living in this like hell
Yeah.
internally that our central nervous system is all out of whack and fucking just like we're like anxious all the time, like yes. But
Yep.
to Chris's point, when your cortisol is down, you're stress free, you're happy, you're peaceful, mind, body, soul, everything's gonna follow. Your look is
Mhm.
gonna look completely different the next time you look on stage. You go on
Absolutely.
stage. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
look at Chris too. The other Chris. Chris, you went through,
I went through something similar
the
like
mother
you,
of your
Chris.
Yeah.
child, right? You
Yeah,
guys
the
broke
mother
like,
the mother of my child left me like that peak week before a show, and
and then you met
while
Nicole.
I'm competing, mind you, she takes everything out the house and just like
Yep.
runs away. Like I have a
Yep.
daughter in
Same.
common with her, you know? So
Yep.
it's kind of like, fuck, where did all this come from? It just
Yep.
you kind of get like rug sweat. But then I met Nicole, and then she's the
A
apple to
million
my
times
eye,
better.
and she's made my life better and made me not just I had to give love, but actually how to receive love, because that's something that I had a hard time doing because of my past.
Think about
It's
that
ironic
bitch.
we all clearly share a lot of
Yeah.
similar experiences in different ways, but
Well, look at Alex. Yeah, your
I,
story, bro.
well, for me, I know I had to. I've always been an empathetic person. I actually had to get a little bit not meaner, just a little bit more realistic and a little bit harsher on who I have in my life because I was at the point where I wanted
Boundaries,
everyone in my
man.
life. I always gave everyone the benefit of the doubt, and now I actually go had to go the other way where I had to start drawing the line more and be a little bit more brutal about cutting out things that should people that shouldn't be in my life. Um, people are of a profound of who you have in your circle has a profound effect on how your life is going to go. And
Yes.
at some point, you have to take responsibility and ownership for that because you can blame what people have done to us. Like, that's not our fault. But if we keep
No.
the pattern of letting those people in, that is our fault.
Yep.
And again, I think the better your circle gets, the easier it will be to identify who the right people are and be okay with letting go of people that shouldn't be there. I think it's the people that don't really think about their circle um, that struggle with that because then it's like a constant changing friend group and whatever. Stick with the people that you know are the good people and then just start building around that. And look, as you get older, your circle is going to get smaller. It should get smaller.
Yeah.
And well, I think before we and I did want to talk a bit about the Arnold
Give
Chris.
me 1 second so I can go to the restroom real quick.
Go for it, Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But wanted to talk about the lineup that was released, men's physique wise anyway. And I
Yeah.
wanted to hear your thoughts on 'cause it's a pretty stacked lineup. A few surprises in there.
I think Brandon's looking unbeatable.
So
I think this is going to be like Brandon's like redemption year.
yeah, I mean, look, and he didn't even have a bad season last season. He had a pretty good season, but
So my prediction is going to be Brandon first. I know people are going to probably not think this, but I think Andre Dayu will get second. I think Edvon will get third. Um, I think that it's kind of a mashup because I haven't really seen this. What is this Silva guy next to guys like Ben and E-Man and things like that. But I think his physique is really, really crazy and they've been pushing it. But dude, it's a toss-up between Ben and Emmanuel because I don't know what E-Man we're gonna get. I know
yeah.
Ben's gonna be hitting. So just because of that reason, I'm gonna put Ben.
Well, don't forget about Edvon
I
too.
already said Edvon was third.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm torn because, dude, honestly, fourth through six is a toss-up. It's going to be anyone from the Silva guy to E-Man to Ben to Vitor.
I think you're
Dude,
missing out.
I honestly can't pick who's going
Don't
to
sleep
do
on Ozcool either.
who.
Ozcool,
Yeah,
Brock.
he's not going to be top five.
I think
He's got a incredible physique and he's a great guy. But I mean, dude, he has one of my favorite physiques in the league, but it's not going to translate well to these physiques on stage. Like, it's not going to be rewarded because these other guys are going to be hitting too hard.
well, so I think E-Man, yeah, it's just a peaking thing because he definitely fluctuates with his peaks, but he obviously has the tools and has the shape. B Henny is looking really good. I mean, I think everyone was a little curious about what he would look like coming back from his break, his hiatus, but he's
But who's gonna win between E-Man and Ben?
it's I
It's
mean,
hard, right?
it is hard. and it's hard because with Ben being a friend and my coach, I'm trying to take
It
bias.
don't matter, dude. I know
I
if
think
we
I
don't
think
pick Ben, he's gonna bitch about it anyways, but it doesn't
no,
matter.
it's not
Like
about that. I think
I think
it's not
we're
about
also a
that.
couple of weeks behind or months behind because everyone's peak is gonna be different, bro.
I think, look, I think Ben, I think he has one of the best upper chests in the league. His upper chest is very, very good. He's got good delts, and he gives him a very good 3D look. His back has always been very strong, and he has a very aesthetic core and great taper. His only weak, his Achilles heel is the gap, that little gap in the lower part of his pecs, and his legs need to come up a bit more to create more of that X frame. But
I
like,
mean, E-Man doesn't have legs either,
I
so
personally had Ben beating Buendia. I thought that was
well,
Ben's
yeah, we
best
know
look.
that.
He disagrees with me. He thinks he liked his was it the Hurricane look the best? I thought his Sasquatch look was the best.
Answer the damn question.
But oh, him or Hunter? Him or E-Man?
Yes.
Based on trajectory and how things have been going lately, I would say Ben.
Hey,
Because
you hear that,
Ben
E-Man? You hear that?
but Ben is because Ben, just because of what we saw at the Olympia and but I think but E-Man could pull it off because E-Man has a
It's such
great
a toss-up,
structure.
dude. It's such a toss-up.
And E-Man's
What
like
did Ben
physique
what did Ben
almost
place in the Olympia again?
11.
And E-Man placed top five, right?
No.
No?
oh
He was
he's
out of the top 10,
He was out the top 10? Oh, okay,
right?
then I must be mistaken then. Yeah.
Wasn't he, Alex?
I I think but again I think Diu is looking good. He's fixed his posing. What Diu has going for him is a lot of politics too. Like
Face.
he's got that look and that
Yeah.
kind of it's huge social media following.
The Silva guy the same way. It's the Spanish Ryan Terry, dude.
Yeah, but I don't think Silva would beat Ben or Eman at this show.
We've never seen them next to each other. That's the thing.
So
And
you think it's gonna be
I
a
think
battle
that's going to
between Ben
be
and E-Man?
I think Ben and Eman, B Henny and DU, and then I personally really think Barack has a very complete look, and he
So
has
you
that
have him
men's
at
physique.
fifth?
He's got that men's physique look to him too, and but and then Vitor, we can't forget. I mean, I personally have never been a huge fan of Vitor's look. I think he's got too 3D of a look for Fence League. I think it doesn't look very streamlined. But again, he's done well in the past and has
All right,
the
so give me your top five.
in order.
Yep. Who's going to win all the way to fifth?
I got B Henny winning.
Yep.
I got DU in second.
All right.
I got Ben in third. And then I
Beating
have
Ed Vaughn?
I
Edvon's
forgot about
nasty,
Ed
bro.
Bond.
Damn.
Damn, I
Damn.
forgot about Ed Bond for a second. All right, hold on. All right, I still have
Damn.
I got B Henny and DU, and then I have Ben over Edvon only because I have more information on how his prep's going. Like I don't know how Edvon is. I know Ben is as healthy as ever been, but again, I also worry about Ben traveling so much and doing so because
You're
that's a
worried
lot of
about Ben
shows,
beating your ass for not putting him in the top three.
and
No,
that's
if
a
Ed
lot of
Von
shows.
Perig's look he just brought, he's getting second.
But here's the thing about Edvon's look that I like. Edvon, I feel like
I agree with that.
his arms dominate his shoulders.
I agree.
And he also his chest is very like high up, like he's very torso dominant. Like if you like
It's like me.
his chest insertions, like it's like he doesn't have that cap in his delts, right? And yeah, I have Ben beating him. I just think Ben has a better silhouette for Ben's physique. I think where Edvon wins is his dryness and that freaky factor, but I think Ben is just if you look at the silhouette, is more Ben's physique than Edvon.
Okay.
But maybe that's also preference. And then look, I liked Ben's physique before I worked with him or became friends with him. I think that's you end up working with people that you kind of want to look like, right? Like I think Ben's physique is more Ben's physique than Ed Vaughn. But Ed Vaughn of all these guys is going to bring the most peeled, freaky, kind of like grainy look by
That's not.
far. That's not the question, right? I think we can all agree with that, is that his freak factor and conditioning is nuts. But yeah, I agree. I think Behenny, um, DU. and then Ben, then Ed Vaughn, and then you know, Old School and Vitor and them. It's a good lineup. What about you, Chris?
Which one?
You.
Me? I say B. Henny's winning it. I think Ed Vaughn would get second, DU third. I put E-Man fourth, and yeah, Ben fifth.
Yep.
So what's your reason? So you have Ed Vaughn second.
I just like his grading is better than Dio's, but Dio has stepped it. He he stepped it up this time for this past season, so it's really a toss up. Like you could interchange those two back and forth. Depends how Dio comes comes to stage.
I agree. There's a lot of toss-ups here. There's obviously tiers to who's going to place here. Like I think the first tier is obviously B. Henny, Andre, and then Edvon, and then you like have your second tier
Yes.
of
Okay, I agree with that.
Ben, E-Man, and Vitor.
Let's,
Vitor.
let's be real.
So
Behaney's probably winning this, and then
he's
the
winning.
second through fifth is such a like you could see Ben in second, you could see Ben in like depend like you could see Ed Vaughn in second, you see Ed Vaughn in fifth. Like it
So
could
this is
go.
my thing. I don't think Ben can beat Edvon or Andre D.
He could definitely beat Andre.
You say that, but I don't think so. That's my opinion. But um I
So
just think the reason why I say that is Andre has such a dominating structure and the judges really like him right now, and that matters. So
but I agree with that, and that's why
where
I
you
have him
have
in
a
second.
face, yeah, and if we're gonna be real, like I feel like I guess it really hasn't. I'm not gonna say that statement because that's not true. Never mind.
I
I was gonna say Ben's momentum has slowed down due to the past shows, but
has
I
it
was
really though?
thinking,
Because he
but
won
that's
Hurricane.
why I fucking said I'm not gonna say that statement. That's why I said I take that statement back. I wasn't gonna say something dumb. But I think the reason being is because I was thinking about the whole Jeremy Buendia situation, and that honestly, I think was the biggest disservice to our sport. Because we all know Ben won that. We all know that that was a fucking gift. And I think of what that could have done for Ben's career if he would have won that show. And not just being his friend, but just watching it as an athlete and a fan, I wasn't happy about it. I it really could have changed Ben's life, you know, and I know he really wanted that win to beat Jeremy Buendia. I mean, who wouldn't want that win? And I feel like
He
this is
took it
my
like a champ
opinion.
though.
This is my opinion, and don't come fucking for my head, people, but I don't think it was right.
I
So,
agree.
Ben took it like a professional. That's something we got to bring up too, because we
100%.
we've seen other athletes in the past, cry about it on social media, and
But what can you do? It's like, dude, it's over. Like, what judges aren't going to flip the scorecard, so just take your L and move to the next show and win it, just like he did.
yeah, but voicing it out, and you have a fan base because he has a following, right? So it just
Yeah.
shows like, hey, how you should treat this sport. It doesn't mean that he didn't go home and freaking cry in the pillow or
Yeah.
anything. And Ben, I'm not saying you cried in the pillow, but
Yeah, don't cry in the pillow,
Look,
Ben.
Ben has a big voice, right? He talks a lot and he's very vocal. And I think, but the thing about Ben is a lot of times when people talk a lot, they don't take losses well, right? But Ben does. Like Ben will
Because he
talk,
understands the sport.
right? But he will take a loss right on the chin and come get back to work. So, um, I think I look again. Ed Vaughn losing to who did Ed Vaughn just lose to? I forget. Before the last year he won.
He
not sure.
lost.
Yeah, he came second
It
in.
was Silva,
He
wasn't
came.
it?
Was it that who beat him?
Yeah.
Maybe. But I think that just showed like they're not going to just give it to Ed Vaughn. Whereas Jeremy, it seems like if he comes P12, they're going to give it to him. Um, I
Well, that's
thought Jeremy
possible.
did. I look again. I think Jeremy did look good. I think they were just they were waiting to see if Jeremy came off or not. If Jeremy came on, they were going to give it to him. Regardless if someone like Ben looked a little bit better. I
That's
think
bullshit. That's
It's
bullshit.
bullshit. But that's just, and again, with you, I actually prefer old school's physique. I prefer Ed Vaughn's physique. I prefer Ben's physique. But are they
I
going
would
to give
agree.
it?
I
But
would agree.
they'll give it to Ed. Like Diu's kind of got a very like blocky-ish. Like it's not a very aesthetic silhouette. It's a very overpowering big physique. But and he's a good-looking dude. But is he as streamlined as some of these other guys? No. I think it's helped a lot that he's fixed his posing because he used to not know how to pose his back at all. Um, but he has a little bit of a wider waist and he doesn't have the best taper. Like Ben could stand straight on and you could just see how much smaller his waist is. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. I think Henny, barring any kind of crazy unforeseen circumstances, is probably going to win this show. And I really think the rest is up for grabs. It's very hard to say who's going to come second or third. The only reason why I say DU in second is again for the political reasons and the momentum he's had. Um, that would make sense to me.
I agree.
Again,
I,
I'm not judging this like how I would judge it. I'm just judging how I think it's going to go. Um,
I overlooked Silva in my prediction, but Silva could easily, be
But
up
that's
there
the
as
thing about
well.
the Arnold is you have all of the
Yeah.
hitters are there, so it's like you never know what you're going to get at the Arnold
Yeah.
because you don't have a long, big lineup like the Olympia. So you have a very small lineup where these guys are getting compared right away. They're all next to each other, so you really get to see like some of
The Olympia needs to get that concept too, man. 'Cause I feel like there's
yeah.
just so many freaking people,
Well,
you
now you're going to
know.
be able to see the Silva guy next to Andre Dayu and Ben and people that
Yeah.
he hasn't competed with before, So you're going to be able to see, okay, is this just an Instagram men's physique guy that's just getting like hyped up, or is he actually hanging with the big boys? And I think
No,
we're going to be very surprised. I think he's going to do very well. So
but
yeah,
here's the thing.
he looks like Ryan Terry a little bit, man. I
The
know
thing
it's
about
yeah,
E-Man, the thing about E-Man is he's going through a lot of life stuff. Like he just got married, right? And so the question for E-Man is it mentally he could be in a very good spot because he just got married and it could make his prep go very well, or it could just be he has so many other things he has to obligations that it's hard for him to prep right now. There's a lot of just question marks. When I say E-Man dropping to like a fourth or fifth spot, I think it's more about how his prep goes, given like all his life changes. I think E-Man's got a great physique. I think his core isn't as aesthetic as Ben's. I think like maybe the lighting, I like he really needs to get that core dialed because he's always going to bring that crazy chest fullness, the vascularity that just pops out, and he's got a very good back. So I think for him, same thing with Vitor too. Like his core, like they're going to have to watch their cores. I think. And like with Ed Vaughn structurally again, like he's got like a very his triceps and his biceps are so dominant and his chest is very short. So I think he's doing the best he can with his genetics. Honestly, I think Ed Vaughn is really
that's
like
the motherfucker's top three at the Olympia. Yeah, he's doing the best he can.
yeah.
Shit.
But here's what people don't talk about enough though is like once you get to the top six, I feel like it's just the top six of each individual type of body, right? Like you
Yeah.
have
Why do
it's
you think we have always different winners? Like through the years, we had like
right.
a
It's
Raymond.
once you get to that level, these are just the maxed out of different types of genetics. Like, and then it's
Yeah.
like pick your poison. Like it seems lately we've gone to a much more like core favored, shredded, pretty boy look. Whereas in the past maybe it wasn't really that. Like when
Past it was backs for a while.
yeah, Banks changed that. Banks
Banks and
like
Raymond.
I was never a fan of Raymond's physique. I'll be honest. Like he looked like very like I just yeah I was never really a fan of his physique. Call me crazy, but.
Because he's tall and you're not.
It's not now. I like Banks'
Okay,
physique.
sorry, he's
I like
black and you're not.
I like
There you
Ebank's physique. I like Ben's
go. Okay, all
physique.
right.
They're not like my physique. All right, here's the thing though. I will always defend what I'm saying with reasons. Let me pull up his hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's his Instagram thing?
You're gonna be like, look at his long ass arms.
I do think his
I
tour
know what you're gonna say. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
so if you
He
know
has
I'll say
his arms on his like hands almost touched his knees. They were long, dude.
Damn.
You'll see.
all
Like
right,
he's got long, very, very long limbs.
let me pull up his
And I know you don't like his torso because his torso is short.
yes. If I look at his
Yeah, it's like
physique,
condensed.
It's
Especially for a
all
tall guy,
legs.
it looks,
His
yeah,
legs are
see?
so like his legs are
Bro,
so
look at his hand. Like if he straightened his arm, he could almost touch his knee.
right. So to me, I just don't understand how this physique could be considered one of the best ever. Like I'm just not saying it's a bad looking physique. I'm just saying when his torso is that short in comparison to how long his legs are, it's just all legs and arms. That's what I'm seeing.
Like a wider waist too.
It
Well,
flowing.
that wouldn't be fourth call out at Olympia now.
But you still see people saying, maybe it's just nostalgia, people saying that he's one of the top three physiques of all
Well, it's
time.
because he changed the game for taller athletes. Taller
Yeah.
athletes weren't winning in men's physique back then, and whenever he won, it opened the door for the taller guys to start doing better.
I just think and something I would talk about too is in terms of like e-banks though. Why are people not talking about how he missed his peak so badly at the Olympia? But this is the first time Banks actually hasn't gotten negative backlash, really. Like I would say the feedback
You
for
want to
him,
know why? Because he's not talking shit to people.
I, I
He's
mean,
actually being a good person. And whenever you are representing the sport in a positive way, whether people think he's genuine or not, I know he's genuine in that fact. Um, you have no reason to talk shit at that point. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
target unmet.
people do say that he didn't look great and it was probably his worst physique that they've seen on the Olympia stage. But at the same time, dude, it what like we're comparing things to his all-time best. We always do that with all the athletes, but bro, he still looked good. Like,
this was
I
men's.
just don't get like I don't know.
I
It
think
confuses me with the hate on him and
I
the things that people say. I don't know. It's
and Chris knows I've always defended his physique. I always liked his physique. I just think
Hmm.
like he's clearly pushed size for the past couple of years because I think he took to
He
heart
didn't
all the
push size. That's not what happened.
he's gotten a
So
lot bigger, dude. He's gotten a lot
listen, what happened was he vacationed a lot at the beginning of his prep. He started the prep later. Okay, so he started, I think he had like 11 weeks whenever he told us that he started prep. And honestly, like the place that he was in after going on vacation and eating like crazy and all that, I just think he needed a little bit more time. Needed a little bit more time to peel down. I don't think that it was a peaking problem. I think that he still had a little bit layer of fat on him that could have came off. And now where you're looking at this right here, dude, this is a legit physique, bro. And the funny
100%.
thing is everyone wants to talk about like the men's physique division and where it's going and everything like that. Like, bro, honestly, I liked a little bit softer look here. Like, it's not fucking bodybuilding or classic physique where we're seeing hard, grainy physiques and all this stuff. Like, this to me is men's physique. Like, I'm looking at
Yeah.
this physique and I'm like, wow, like
If you see
that
this
is
on the
exactly
beach,
the
this is what I want
criteria.
to look
Yeah, but
like.
it's
Yeah.
hard to defend it when you have guys that bring that next level of conditioning and still have a pretty structure and have
You know
like
what's crazy though? What place did he get? Fourth, and you're saying he was way off. So what you're telling me is that if this motherfucker comes on, he's winning, no doubt.
I
Yeah.
think so too, but he hasn't peaked well in a while. I think his last Arnold look was his best. And people gave him shit for that. They actually didn't really talk him up then. It's like weird. Like when he should be talked up, people don't really talk him up. And when he does badly, people don't like it's very weird. But I just think he took to heart like when he won the Olympia, the negative comments were more like, well, he still looks stringy or whatever. And he's put a lot of size. To your point, I do agree. I think he just has needs to let all this new muscle have more time to harden and get more condition.
I think
I
he'll
think
be okay this year. I
I
think that
think
he's
he'll
going to
be
come
okay.
back way more motivated. I think he's going to change some things up a little bit, and I predict some pretty big wins coming for him.
I'm trying to find the article.
He's been
Like
quiet. He's been traveling. Um, yeah, I think that he's going to do very well this year,
I
but
think he's
that's just
got. I mean, we already. I mean, it's hard to for anyone to not say he has the best structure in the league.
yeah.
I mean, he's as men's physique as it gets. So, and he's brought his legs up. He's one of my favorite physiques. I think this. Yeah, the Arnold. I think this was his best look.
Hey, Alex, I'm gonna have to step out here. Okay.
No worries, man.
All right, bud. Well, I appreciate you guys for having me on again,
All right,
obviously.
brother. Always.
Absolutely,
But
man.
gotta go take care of some dogs here. So, all
There you go, bro.
right. See you
Talk.
guys.
All right, all right, bro. We'll wrap this up. But Yeah. I mean, would you agree with that? Like Arnold, I thought that was his best look.
No, I do agree. I think what Chris said brought more light to, stuff that we didn't know. He had a shorter prep, and this is why it takes time,
I just think he needs more time for all this new muscle to like
I agree.
start it.
Yeah,
Like,
because he
like
has gotten bigger.
because
So
what I'm talking about, like all those like comments about being stringy and stuff. I feel like he took that to heart, but I don't think he needs any more size. I don't think he looks stringy anymore at all.
yeah.
I think now, especially his legs have come up. Like for him, it's just matching that like that conditioning that Ali and Terry have because no
But do
one
you
can.
think Chris brought up a good point though, saying the softer look looks more man physique-ish?
Yeah, but again, like how even if you have a preference for it, you can never reward if you have guys that bring that next level of conditioning and have a good structure and all this, like how are you ever going to give it to someone? If you do that, we really have to rechange the
You
whole
have to
mentoring
change the standard.
criteria
Yeah.
and make it a softer division. You couldn't just out of the blue reward it right now.
Yeah.
You couldn't just say, okay, well, that guy I actually like the softer looks. I'm
But
gonna give it
but
to him
he
this year.
he scored what was his place in the Olympia?
Fourth, because again, here's what Paul like they're only gonna let certain people slide so much. Like once you get to a certain point, it's like you're a
But do
top
you,
five, top
but
six guy.
to your point, they don't reward it right away, right? They give him fourth last year, and now this is something that because they had these conversations behind closed doors. We don't know, unfortunately, till it's the Olympia time, and now Eric Banks got first place with the softer look. So now does that whole criteria change towards that?
I think it'll happen slowly if that's the way it's gonna go. I think right now though, it's clearly going to a conditioned preference
Yeah, just because of Ryan Terry.
and Ali, right? The whole core.
Yeah, Ali. I'll give it Ali.
Like if it wasn't so much about the core, that's when Aaron would leapfrog over them because Aaron has a better structure. He's got, he's more imposing. If it wasn't, if you cover the core, right? Like who you gonna give it to? Like Aaron's got the everything else.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, it was good to get back on the pod. Um,
we had to dust off some cobwebs, huh?
yeah, for sure. I like this new setup too. I just need to keep tweaking it, the lighting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but before the table was the other way, and I had like nothing to play with in the back. Now it's a little different. So
Well, let's shout out our girl too, who updated our lifted pod logo.
she didn't. Not yet.
No,
No,
that it wasn't.
I
That's
did.
not it. You did that?
Yeah.
Phew. Well, let's cut that out and good shit. It looks dope. It
Yeah.
looks dope.
But yeah, but shout out to sponsors Wolfpack. Um, really appreciate their support. Use code lifted at checkout if you do. And we will be back soon. We have another exciting guest coming up very, very soon. Um, check our page for that announcement. But Chris, I will catch you soon on the next one.
All right, brother. See you soon, bro.
All right.